You know how I know that men know it's all men? I know that men know it's all men because when you have these conversations with men and you think about how men talk about other men, you will no doubt come to the conclusion that men know it's all men.
I do not respect any man that believes or pushes this idea of all men, especially coming from a black man.
So he's mad at me for saying it's all men. Then he gets on the internet and tells women, oh, yeah, I understand that man was abusive to you, but you need to choose better.
If a man was to say it's all women, and women have been associated with atrocities, it's just when it comes to women, y'all believe bad actions, or let's say anomalies, these jokes, these phrases of Karens, right? Karens, like lying and framing generally like men in the most negative light.
Suggesting.
Luckily, that's why you get me on, because I'm an expert. This is my field, so that's why I'm here to speak about it, because I know statistically that it's almost all men.
I don't normally get my videos stitched by like opposition. It's been happening a lot more lately on TikTok. It's happened a few times, but not as much as I feel like I should be getting stitched. This is not an ego thing. It's the reason why is because I want these men to hear the things that I'm saying. They need to hear it, you know. So I want them to stitch me. I want them to put my message in front of their audience. I want, you know what I mean? Like I want to upset them. I want to agitate them. I want them to come to my page and argue, but more importantly, engage. Like I know how it's gonna go. And I'm with all the smoke. I'm with the shits. You know what I'm saying? So I'm down for it, but I just want men to listen. I want men to have the conversation. So I love the fact that men are, you know, like stitching my stuff more, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever the case may be, I genuinely, I love that shit. I think it's fucking exciting. I think it's so exciting. And like I said, it's just been happening a lot more lately. And recently I did a video and yeah, the men are upset about it. This is the video. You know how I know that men know it's all men? I know that men know it's all men because when you have these conversations with men and you think about how men talk about other men, you will no doubt come to the conclusion that men know it's all men. I'll give you a bunch of examples, right? Men know it's all men. So one of them is the body count discussion, because for every body that a woman sleeps with, every man that a woman sleeps with, her value goes down, which means what? The man is the thing that devalues the woman. So boom, there you go there. And that's just generally, they're just applying that to men. And generally has nothing to do with the woman. They think it does, but in all reality, it has everything to do with the character of the man. It's number two, men, when they talk to their daughters and other women in their lives, they tell them that men ain't shit. They tell them that they need to get money, you know, they man need to have money. If a man not paying for you, he don't like you and and all that stuff. And they are the biggest deterrents a lot of times, like fathers and uncles. They're the biggest deterrents for women in their lives dating men and being with men, because they tell the women straight up, niggas ain't shit. Another example is when you're having a conversation with a man and you don't agree with him. As a man, I'm saying me as a man, you don't agree with him. He is saying something that is very misogynistic and you're just like, nah, that's not true. Or he's trying to lie on a woman or lie on women in general. And you're like, that's not true. I don't agree with that. That's not true. You know, that's not true. They will say, oh, you're gay, right? So heterosexual men can't respect women. If you are a heterosexual man and you respect women, you can't be heterosexual. You have to be gay, right? Men also, when they talk about how a woman dresses and they say that they're trying to, you know, they don't look at it as control when they tell a woman like how to dress or whatever, because they're trying to protect the woman. You're trying to protect the woman from men. Like you're just saying, like when she goes outside, this is like men will literally say to me, because I'm like, I would never tell my wife how to dress. They'll be like, oh, but you know how men are. You know how men are. Bro, be for real. You know how men are. Okay, so you're saying, generally speaking, men are fucking predators. You're saying, generally speaking, that if a woman dresses a certain way, men will not respect her and they will try to harm her. thought it was only 2% of men are scary and violent. Like, if only 2% of men are so scary and violent, then why are you so worried about a woman going outside in a miniskirt? If it ain't all men, why are you so protected? You think these women are gonna? What are the odds that these women are gonna run into the 2% of men anytime they go outside dressed a certain way? Where are the odds of that? Super duper low, right? You're saying it's only 2% of men. So again, it's proof that you guys think that it's all men. Men know it's all men. Men know that men ain't shit. We know that. With everything you say and do about women, you reveal that you actually know men ain't shit, right? The question then becomes, why do you guys get so upset when women say men ain't shit, though? That's the question. And the answer to that is because though you know men ain't shit, you know that, right? So you use that as a way to manipulate and control women, again, proving that you ain't shit, that you're one of the ain't shit men. You use that to manipulate and control women's behaviors, right? That's the reason why you do that. And you need for those, you need for most men to remain shitty so that you can get away with remaining shitty. So that's the video. Men know it's all men, right? And we talk about that a lot, but I just wanted to put it in the video form so it could be out there, whatever. Whatever. It got whatever, hundreds of thousands of views. People, liked it, whatever, shared it, whatever, right? So the men started to come out the woodwork, and I got a handful of dudes stitch the video. Again, cool. I love that. This is one of the reactions, though. I know that men know it's all men.
I do not respect any man that believes or pushes this idea of all men, especially coming from black men. Black men we have the highest rates of exonerations. Meaning, generally speaking, when a black man makes mistakes, best believe that people are going to associate that with our whole ethnic group, our whole demographic. That is our reality.
You bringing up the justice system when I'm talking about the real world lived experiences of black women and black girls and black children in general, black LGBTQIA folk, how they're telling us what their interactions are like with black men, right? And we're seeing how it shows up on the stat sheets as far as the rates of violence, neglect, abuse, so on and so forth. So this isn't about what white people think about black people. If you want to relegate it to the black community, it wouldn't be about what white people think about black people. It would be what black women and black children are saying about black men. Right? That's what that's what this is about. And black women are saying that their experiences with black men are usually rooted in or usually lead to some form of abuse, whether it be full-blown violence or it be neglect or it be some narcissistic abuse, gaslighting, whatever the case may be, right? Essaying. That's what most black women are saying their experiences are with the average black man. I don't care nothing about what the system thinks about us. I'm not even, that's irrelevant to what I'm saying. But I like how you try to instantly otherize black men because you're a black man. You want to separate yourself, right? And you want to distance yourself further away from the patriarchy, but you can't because you uphold it within our community. Black men uphold the patriarchy within the black community. That's what it is, and you can't escape that. That's just the reality. So you can hate all men. You can hate the men that call out men like me. You can hate me if you want to, but that just proves that you are a part of the all.
Reality. But beyond that, when you say all men, what you are doing is removing your own levels of accountability. Because most issues of, let's say, DV, violence against women, is going to be by their intimate partners, right? So in that case, when it comes to picking the people that you have in your circles, because we're not superheroes, so you're not allowing people to succumb and overstep and tell you.
To succumb and overstep don't make any sense right here, but I'm listening.
Who to select as a partner. The onus is going to be on you. So when it's on you, you have to look at a variety of different traits.
Okay, so you're saying choose better. You can't make this shit up. So he's mad at me for saying it's all men. Then he gets on the internet and tells women, oh, yeah, I understand that man was abusive to you, but you need to choose better. Ain't that some shit?
Right? And sometimes some people do lie. Some people are disingenuous, but that is life, right? But at the end of the day, to go and conceptually believe that it's all men are.
So that it's just life when it comes to men abusing women. You don't see how you're a part of the all men? This is what I'm saying. Like all men, if not, you know what I'm saying, most men, if not all men, perpetuate, harm against women in some way, shape, or form. And you're just a part of it. You're a link in the chain. And then, and then here's the thing. So women have no choice but to treat every single man the same, because if she chooses a man that she has vetted and he ends up abusing her, then a man like you is going to get on the internet and say all men. It's not all men. I'm sorry. It's not all men, and you should choose better. So why are you mad at the women for being like, you know what, y'all got it? I choose not to be with none of y'all. Oh no. That's no, we don't want that. It's not all men, man. Choose me, pick me, love me. It ain't me, but it is you. Look at what you're doing right now.
You're saying is that I don't have to worry about evaluating people because I just believe the worst of all people. Now, because if a man was to say it's all women, and women have been associated with atrocities, it's just when it comes to women, y'all believe bad actions or let's say anomalies rather than let's say them being human and they can have a full wide range of actions, good or bad. So when it comes to let's say white women and let's say controlling the military industrial complex at one moment, that white women nearly half the percentage of slave owners, right? When you have these jokes, these phrases of Karens, right? Karens, like lying and framing generally black men in the most negative light in order to call law enforcement with the hopes of them being violated, abused, which is a standard practice, a historical practice of white women weaponizing their femininity and using that to.
They're weaponizing their race and femininity, if you want to say both, but it's mostly rooted in race because we're black, and because they couldn't do that against a white man. So it's that we're black. It's not that they're women and we're men necessarily, but because of intersectionality, yes, white men protect white women from black men because they see white women as their possession, right? And men are very possessive. So yes, if a black man, for an example, like an Emmett Till, who was a boy, but if a black man gets accused of, trying to sexually assault a white woman, then yeah, white men are going to crash out on a black man because how dare you sexually assault our women? Those are our women. Only we can sexually assault them, right? And the understanding of intersectionality is very important, but it's not that they weaponize their femininity, is that they weaponize their whiteness, because white men call the police on black men too. You act like only white women do that. White men been calling the police on black men and black people forever. That's a known thing. That is something that white people do to black people. Just so we're clear. And I'm not absolving white women of their responsibility or their I'm not absolving white women of their accountability as it pertains to upholding the white patriarchal capitalistic structure. I'm not doing that. Yes, they voted for Trump. Yes, they raise mass shooters. Yes, like nobody, not nobody on my channel is trying to do that. I'm not down for that. Hold them accountable. Absolutely, absolutely. But they are secondarily um they are in this case they're not the ones perpetuating the violence. They are upholding the structure, no doubt about it. So as a black man, right, who, if you want to claim that you are not actively oppressing black women, but you are actively upholding the patriarchal structure by trying to detract from these conversations, trying to obfuscate from these conversations when we're having these conversations. This is you being a white woman. You are, you know what I'm saying? You are the white woman in this situation because white women aren't actively harming black men or the black community physically. They are weaponizing the system against black people. No doubt about it. And what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now as a black man? You're not the one actively causing the harm physically, but you are trying to uphold the system by telling everybody, oh, this isn't a real issue in the black community. It's not all black men. Give us a pass. We're black men. So you're being a Karen right now, essentially. You're being, you know what I mean? Like you are the white women you're talking about. Black men and white women have a lot in common when it comes to that. Just so you know, that needs to be studied if it hasn't been studied.
Get maximum violence out of their male counterparts, but that doesn't count, right? That's not all women, right? The women suffragists, right? Those women who were racist, right? The daughters of the Confederacy, that doesn't matter. The majority that voted for Trump in each election, right? That demographic that makes up the majority of the population, that's not all women. Like, why?
Do you see how everything you're stating, even about white women, though, it still ties back to a man? Like it's not all men, but it's always a man is also a saying for a reason because they voted for Trump. So Trump is the one that's actually causing the harm. He's a man. They're upholding the daughters of the Confederacy was doing what? They went out there and were like, yo, let's change the textbooks. And what did they change the textbooks to? They excluded white women from those textbooks too. They didn't uphold femininity at all, or feminism at all in any of those textbooks. They in those textbooks removed everybody but white men from them and said that white men created everything and black people didn't do shit and white women didn't do shit and immigrants didn't do shit and Chinese men didn't build the railroads and blah 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 blah. It's still a man. They still need it. White women in this instance, they still need men to perpetuate the harm. They use men, yeah, no doubt about it, but they still need men. And also they are always harming themselves at the end of the day. Still. Just like a black man who is trying to act like the patriarchy doesn't exist, he is ultimately harming himself as well. See how you are revealing yourself to be very, very much aligned with these white women who you're trying to act like are, like, oh no, they're the devil, but black men, we ain't did nothing.
How would you, right? You see how that doesn't make sense because you're probably saying, well, no, there's some black women who hold these positions, right? There's some other groups that hold these positions, things of violence, right? You'll provide nuance only when it's convenient. If you are unable to provide that level of nuance towards men, you are just trying to manipulate these women and take advantage of, let's say, a lack of critical thinking. It's not all men, nor if it's all like women. Y'all need to start encouraging critical thinking.
It's funny that this man is talking about critically thinking, but all I've been doing is giving you the nuance. That's all I do. I break it down. And I do it better than you because I'm not being disingenuous and I'm more educated than you. But I'm going to let this young lady tell you better than me. I think she sums it up way, way, way better than I've been trying to up until this point.
Women hate men as a system. Men hate women as a people. That is the issue.
That's the issue. Men we're talking about the class, men as a class, women as a class. The system is the patriarchy. The system is racism. The system is capitalism. Women don't hate men. Women don't abuse men as a group. Women as a group have not collectively been oppressing men. As a group, they haven't. But as a group, men have. Black men have, all the way up to white men. We all are participating in it. All the men are. And all men benefit from the patriarchy where women don't. Even those white women you were talking about, they don't benefit from the patriarchy. mitigating harm is not, to me, beneficial. And listen to what I'm saying. I look at it through the lens of the way that Malcolm X looks at harm. Malcolm X famously quoted, "If you plunge a knife in my back 12 inches and you pull it out 3, that's not progress, right? If you pull it out 6, that's not progress. You pull it out right." I quote that all the time because that is what it's like being a black man who upholds the patriarchy or a white woman that upholds the patriarchy. We are still being harmed by that system. That system is still not built for us. Still, when we perpetuate, when black people like that dude internalizes racism like he did and internalizes and protects the white patriarchy by shifting the blame, that doesn't help black men, that we are still being harmed by that system. That's you know what I mean? Like, we don't benefit from doing that. We don't. We would benefit, the only way for us to benefit as men is to take accountability and to change our ways.
Suggesting
luckily that's why you get me on, because I'm an expert, this is my field, so that's why I'm here to speak about it, because I know statistically that it's almost all men. These aren't like fake figures that are plucked from the air. Unfortunately, until people understand that this is a real situation, femicide is a real issue, and that women are dying weekly because of this issue, if you want to help stop that, then we need to understand that men have got the issue. Men are the issue. If people are trying to take themselves away from that and say, well, it's not me, I'd like to ask, if you are attending protests to fight for women's rights, are you posting about things? Are you talking about this with your peers? Do you discuss women's rights? Do you discuss, oh, we shouldn't talk about women in a derogatory way because we're objectifying them and that leads to violence? I hope that these are conversations that you're having, because if you're just saying, well, I'm a nice guy and I treat the women in my life nicely, unfortunately, you're part of the issue.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. We talk about this every day on this program, but I'm not even just saying I'm a nice guy. I think the vast majority of guys are nice guys. I think there's a lot that aren't. I'm not suggesting otherwise, that there aren't problems.
It's an experience. So, my lived experience and the lived experience of a lot of women that I know, almost all women that I know, is that it is almost all men. So it's I appreciate that you're coming from your own experience of being a man. You maybe don't see the amount of harassment and derogatory comments and misogyny that women go through on a day-to-day basis, but it's there every single day. Women write books about it. I've got some books in the corner, that are all about, my friends have written, because they're all fighting against misogyny. There's so many activists right now fighting against misogyny, and there's also a rhetoric going around that that feminism is harmful to men, that we're lying about these statistics. It's quite dangerous rhetoric, and I think when we minimize the issue to, oh, it's just some men, or it's just half of men, or when actually the reality of it is that it's most men, is quite harmful.
Patsy, thank you very much indeed.
And if it's most men, then the safest approach would be to take is it's all men. That's the safest approach to take. That's the safest approach to take. It's all men. If it's the vast majority of men, then why not just assume it's all men? If it's 2% of men, okay, don't assume it's all men. I can hear that. If it's 10% of men, maybe we don't assume it's all men. But if it's 90% of men, then let's just assume it's all men. And she laid it out eloquently. You are a part of the problem anytime you try to other yourself from the group. I'm not othering myself. I'm a part of the group. I'm a part of the group. The only thing I can do now is choose to not invalidate women's experiences. I'm doing my part. I promise you I am. I'm not invalidating women's experiences. I'm talking to my brothers in arms, the men. And I have changed my behavior and my outlook. That's pretty much all I can do at this point. You know what I'm saying? If and when the time comes, I'm willing to fight physically. I'm willing to fight financially. I'm willing to do all of those things. When I say that when the time comes, I'm saying, like, whatever it is, which I do those things already. But I'm down for whatever. If it's a gender war, I'm gonna be on the side of women. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a real like if they really try to turn this shit into Gilead, I'm not gonna be in one. I'm not about to turn into one of them black suited motherfuckers. I'm either gonna die fighting or I'm gonna get away and I'm gonna escape and I'm gonna save as many people as I fucking can. You know what I mean? Like that's just the most extreme version of it. I never vote against women's rights. I never vote. I vote against my best interest all the time. Fight socioeconomically. I vote against my best interest all the time, and I don't even think about it. Like I literally don't even think about it. I don't care if I get taxed more. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I vote. The first people I think about are the most marginalized groups of people when I vote. I don't even think about myself because I'm not the most marginalized group of people. I'm a black man. My maleness protects me to some extent. So the first people I think about are black children. Then I think about black queer folk and black women. Those are the people I think about. Number one. Then I think about women and children and queer folk in general. Then I think about every poor people and right? That's how I vote. That's how I approach all of these issues. And you should too, as a man. Stop being so offended by the truth. Or get offended. It's okay, but then unpack that. Why do you feel offended? Why do you feel like you need to distance yourself from men? Why just include yourself in the all men? It's okay. You'll be fine, man. You'll be fine. Trust me, you're good. But that rhetoric needs to stop. That's harmful and that's toxic, and it doesn't help black men, white men, black women, white women. It don't help none of us to get up here and lie about it.